All right, welcome to today's webinar. We're going to be talking about winning with local service ads from Google. And local service ads are something that have been around for a while if you were a plumber or an electrician or a heating and air contractor. But in December, Google began rolling out local service ads for insurance agencies. And right now, local service ads are available in California and Florida and will be rolled out into other states and regions as we go throughout the year. So I wanted to give you this information to get you out in front of that. If you're in California or Florida, you have access to that already. If you're not, keep checking the Google local service ads and see when that comes available in your area. So I want to give you all of the information on how these work. I want to show you how they've worked in other industries that they are currently in. So you've got an idea of how to make this work for you. This is a very high ROI tool that Google has made available across other industries. And so it's something that can be very helpful to you. Now, let me also say this, it is being rolled out to insurance agencies in Florida, in California currently, but it has been available to financial planners for a while. So if you have a financial planning designation, it's available nationwide. If you're an insurance agent, it is just now being rolled out, like I said, in California and Florida, and will be rolled out nationwide throughout the year. So, again, we want to get this information to you so it's something you can be thinking through as this gets rolled out in your area. The screenshots you can see on our main slide, Los Angeles is one of the areas where this is now available. And in other verticals, you'll see this as Google guaranteed. In the insurance arena, it is Google screened, and we'll talk about that as we go through today's presentation. So what we're going to cover today is what Google Local Services is, where it's active, how it works, how you can get started, jump on board if you haven't done that already, what it takes to rank in the top 3 results, and how you can take advantage of the high quality leads at the low cost per lead and then maximize your return on investment to truly win with these local service ads that Google provides. And we'll also talk about how the Google local service ad leads are different from other leads you may have been purchasing from other lead aggregators or lead sources in the past. And if you've not been on one of our presentations, a little bit about me. My name is Carl Willis. I am the CEO of Agent Branding and Marketing. I have been marketing online since 1997. My background, I'm a former financial advisor, Series 6, 7, 63, 65, Life A&H. I'm the author of Internet Marketing for Small Business, creator of the Marketing Classroom, have spoken internationally on business growth and lead generation, widely accepted as a go-to expert on insurance agency digital marketing strategy. Work with local insurance agents throughout the US. I'm also the host of the Digital Insurance Agent podcast. And if you're not a listener to that, would love to have you listening to that on a regular basis. Anytime you hear me talk, you're going to hear me talk about the marketing ecosystem. And so when we talk about the marketing ecosystem, that is this entire pie of marketing um, strategies that you're going to deploy as you market your insurance agency, your insurance business. And in that pie, what we're going to be dealing with today is considered the pay per lead piece of the equation. So Google local service ads are part of the pay per lead piece of the pie. And so any of the other lead aggregators, lead sources that you may have purchased leads from before would also fit into that piece of the equation. That's where this is going to fit in when you think about your overall marketing ecosystem, your marketing universe. That's where Google local service ads fit in. So when we talk about Google local services, um, what we want to understand is what are they? Where does it fit in? Get a little understanding of, why this comes into play. And so first of all, you already understand insurance is built on trust. Customers can be skeptical because of bad experiences that they've had with agents. And so what LSAs do is they position your agency or your business as being vetted and credible. And so what Google is saying is that they have screened, and you'll see this here, it's got a check mark and it says Google screened. They have screened your agency, your business, and verified that all of your licensing is in order, that you are up to date, that you're in good standing, that you have a good reputation with your customers. And so what they're doing is they are adding another layer of reassurance to the customer. And because competition is fierce, what you're doing is you're giving the customer another level of assurance that you're somebody they want to work with. Now, what I want you to understand though is competition is fierce. And so you're wanting to give yourself a little bit of an advantage. And I want you to notice how this page is laid out. And this is what Google is now doing. So the search is insurance agents Los Angeles. What Google is doing is they are structuring the page to where the Google screened agencies are at the top, even above the Google paid ads. So don't miss this. So traditionally, if you're running ads on Google, you're using Google AdWords, their pay-per-click program. That's these results right here. So these Google local service ads, these Google screened listings are actually showing up above the Google pay-per-click ads. So that's something you want to take note of. This is prime real estate on Google now. And when you are part of this program, not only are you getting top billing, but it is a pay per lead program, not a pay per click program. So when the consumer responds, they're given two modalities they can respond to, and it's up to you as the agent which modalities you want to offer to the consumer. You can offer them direct messages. You can also offer them direct phone calls. And you can choose both, or you can choose to just be phone call only. Your preference. If your office has the capability to respond to messages, messages are going to be a little lower cost. And it's going to give you just another modality that the consumer can contact you through. Gives you another option for that contact. Then you also have the phone call option as well. So as you can see, the Allstate agent is using both messages and phone numbers, phone calls. The Cover Guard agency is just going phone calls only. Now, here's the other thing I want you to see about this. There are multiple agencies that have gone through this Google screening process, but the Allstate agency is running local service ads, so they get top billing. That's why it says sponsored. So they get the prime real estate because they are participating in Google's pay per lead program, the local service ads. And that's why we're talking about local service ads today. So let's get into the meat and potatoes here. Why does this matter? Well, it matters because 87% of consumers are going to search Google when they are looking for local service providers to do business with. And those LSA providers, those Google screen providers, are going to appear at the very top of the search results with that Google screened badge and check mark. So they're going to come up first. It's the number one place that the consumer is going to see. It's the prime piece of real estate. It's the highest visibility. It's going to come up first in both mobile and desktop search. And you need to realize that there is no higher intent prospect than the customer who is proactively looking for your services at that very moment in time. And so if you're going to participate in Google local search, in Google local services, you want to have a plan to win. Now, as I mentioned before, for insurance agencies, this option is currently active in California and Florida. It was just introduced in December. It will be rolled out across the country this year. So you can actually register with Google and they will notify you when it becomes available in your area. If you have a financial planner designation, it's available nationwide already. So you could already begin advertising in the local service ads as a financial planner and then advertise your insurance agency once that comes online in your area. So you do have that option. Now, let's talk about how it impacts search results. And I'm going to go to a different vertical for this just because it's a vertical that these ads have already been frequently shown in for quite a while. So I'm going to use home remodeling to demonstrate this, but this is the way Google is now structuring its search results. So the search I was doing here was in Dallas, Texas. These are the local service Google screened listings at the very top. Those that are paying for local service ads, meaning they're a part of the pay-per lead program, are at the very top. So the way this is structured, those that are in the pay-per lead program are at the very top of this top set of listings. Those that are Google screened but are not paying for ads at the moment are listed below that. They're going to be secondary in this top section. Then below that, you have the traditional local listings, and those who are in the pay-per-click ads are at the top as sponsored. Then you have your traditional Google Business Profile local listings below that. And then you have your Google organic listings below that. And now what we're actually seeing is Google is putting the pay-per-click ads in between these two things. They're putting questions and answers underneath the ads, and then they're putting everybody's website below that. So what's happening is these Google local service ads are actually getting top billing, and then the Google screened, businesses are getting the number two slot. So it's becoming more important to play the game Google's way. And so the way the Google local services work is number one, you have to complete the Google local services application. And in doing that, you're going to have to pass a background check, and that's going to be on you and your W-2 employees. You'll have to provide any business licenses if necessary and any business insurance if required by your location. And then once approved, you're going to pay on a pay per lead basis. Now, we can't really tell you what that's going to look like for the insurance agencies because insurance agencies were just rolled out in December and they were only rolled out in California and Florida. So it's so new that we haven't seen what those costs look like. So, what I'm going to give you costs on is based on other industries that we've seen. And typically, what we're seeing is those leads are running $25 to $45 per lead. Could shift, prices may vary by city or industry. Now, before you go, well, wait a minute, I'm paying $8 or $12 or $10 or $20 per lead through some other lead source. Let me just remind you the difference with these Google local service leads is they're not being resold between multiple agencies. So it's exclusive to you and your agency. It's not being sold to 3 other agencies or 5 other agencies or 10 other agencies. And the other piece of this is you can dispute invalid leads. So if leads are coming in from outside your location, if it is a lead that is calling to solicit business, if it's somebody looking for a job, if it's just a bad lead, those actually get credited back to you. So there's some advantages to this. And here's the thing that will happen once you set up your local service account, you're approved, you pass the background information. Here's the way the local service ad program works. And I'm using HVAC here. So again, the insurance agency side is so new. I don't have a screenshot for it because we don't have anybody using it because it was just rolled out. So again, I'm front running this to make you aware of what's now coming online for you as an insurance agent. But this is an HVAC example, but it will work the same way for you as an insurance agency. So once you're approved in your dashboard, you can let Google automatically set the bid for you, or you can manually set your bid. In this case, we're using a manual bid. We're bidding for $22 per lead, and we're going to set a maximum weekly budget. Based on that budget at $22 a lead, we'll determine how many leads we can potentially get per week. So I'm going to show you a screenshot. Once you activate your campaign, this is really what it looks like day by day as the leads come in. So this is a home remodeling builder in Wichita, Kansas. This is a screenshot of their back office dashboard in the local service ads from earlier this week. And so they're just using phone calls. They're not taking messages. They want phone calls only. So the phone calls come in. If it's a good lead, it gets charged. If it's a bad lead, it gets credited. So you can see they've got a credit of $129.82 that Google is going to credit them towards their lead flow in the next month. And then they've been charged for other leads coming in. It'll show what type of job it was for, the location, the date it was received, the time it was received, and then the activity on that particular lead. And so this is a CRM built within Google's LSA system. And this is important because as you work the leads that Google is sending you, it's going to train the algorithm and it will help Google improve the leads that they are sending to you. So this is what the lead will look like. It will show the status, whether or not it was charged or credited. It will show whether it came in by phone or by message. It will show the category. So in your case, it'll show insurance agent, or if you're a financial planner as well, and you're operating in both categories, it will show which category it came through. It will show you the type of service: auto insurance, home insurance, business insurance, what service they were inquiring about. It will show their location. And then it's got this area for you to type in their information, customer name, customer email, and then whatever notes you have. And then for that phone call, it actually records the phone call. And so what you'll do with that is you will mark whether or not that was a booked appointment. Did you book an appointment with this lead? And so when you book that, if you say that was a booked appointment, what it does is it trains Google's algorithm on what's a good lead for you. And so as you work these leads, Google's algorithm will get better at matching the right types of leads for you as you continue to work this process. If it's a bad lead, you'll rate the lead. And whether it's a good lead or a bad lead, you'll rate the lead up here. It's a good lead. We were able to book it. We completed business. Or it's a bad lead. They were out of the area. They wanted something we don't offer. And so you will help train Google's algorithm to send you better quality leads as you continue to go. Now, how are you charged for these local service leads? Well, what you do is you set a budget that limits the total number of leads you receive in any given week. So, for example, if you're wanting to spend $2,000 per month on your leads, then you're going to set your budget at $500 per week or $71 per day. That's going to put your cost per lead around $35. Then that means you're going to get 57 leads per month, 14 leads per week, 2 per day. Once the weekly budget is spent, then your ads will stop showing. Now, something that's important is you may get a different number of leads from day to day, but you'll never spend more than your designated weekly budget. Now, something we've seen with local service ads running in the construction vertical through our other agency is that generally the challenge is Google doesn't spend up to the budget. So you actually want to get aggressive with your budget. What we find is we often have to set the budget at 3 to 4 times what our spending target is because of competition to get Google to spend at the levels we want them to spend. So you'll have to watch how Google is spending and are they meeting your budget. So you may have to get more aggressive with your budget to get them to spend at the levels you want them spending at. And again, you're working that CRM system that Google gives you in the local service ads will also help this process. Now, also remember, you have the ability to rate those leads, and that will help you dispute bad leads. If you have leads that are not valid, you want to rate them as not being valid to help train Google's algorithm so that you're getting a better quality of lead each and every time. Now, here are the leads that just simply don't count. Solicitation leads. If it's a call from a wrong number, they're trying to sell you a product or service, it's a call from somebody seeking employment at your business, or they call and they're not even discussing your business, that's something that is going to be credited back to you. If it's a spam call, it's pre-recorded, it was not from a live human being, that's going to get credited back to you. If it's a call from a location that's not served, it's not a location on your Google business profile, that will get credited back to you. If it is a service that you don't offer, that will get credited back to you. If it's a service that is not offered on your Google business profile, that will get credited back to you. If they're looking for a location or something you just simply don't offer, period, that's going to get credited back to you. So they do a really good job of monitoring what types of things are being asked for in those calls. Now, what we find from active users is it's a lower cost per lead than pay-per-click. Um, and I should have changed this up. This is higher quality leads than other lead aggregators. So home advisors for the construction industry, remodeling industry, but other lead aggregators you may be using, it's going to be higher quality of leads because these leads are not being resold. The drawback of leads that you're buying is they are generally being sold 3 to 10 times over. And that's not the case with Google local service ads. It is a direct contact to you from the consumer. Now, it's going to be a lower cost per lead than pay-per-click because you're not paying for dead clicks. So if you think about pay-per-click campaigns, a high conversion rate is generally around 30%, which means you're paying for 70% of those clicks that are not converted. Well, in a pay-per-lead, you're only paying for the lead itself. You are going to get some price shoppers still because they haven't bought into you, they haven't been to your website, they don't really necessarily know who you are. You're just at the top of the page. You have prime real estate. So it is going to be important that you follow up quickly, that you handle those leads quickly. Speed to lead is going to be critical here. And what we do find is that there is a solid return on investment for most of the clients who are using local service ads. I did an podcast interview with a business owner last week. He owns a garage door service company, operates in 20 locations, $220 million in revenue every year. His highest ROI marketing asset is Google local service ads across the board. And that interview, if you want the link to that, let me know. I'll send that to you. He loves this stuff because it produces such a great return on investment above and beyond anything else that he does. It's a great ROI. We find that with clients that use Google local service ads. And the fact that it's being rolled out to insurance agents this year is phenomenal. And so that's why we wanted to get this information in front of you. It's going to be a great addition to your marketing strategy and your toolbox. And so, why we believe this is a no-brainer for most insurance agencies and financial planners is number one, it's going to allow you to show up at the top of the results where your potential clients are looking. It is only on a pay-per-lead basis, so you're not paying for dead clicks, you're not paying for traffic that hasn't converted, and it is going to be a much lower cost than your pay-per-click campaigns. You're also not paying for leads that are being resold like you've been paying for with the lead aggregators. And as you know, with some of the recent rulings from the FTC, the lead aggregators are having to change the way that they are doing business as well. And so this is going to give you a bit of an advantage as well because you have a direct connection with those leads. You're not competing with multiple insurance agents for the same lead. And you have the ability to modify your budget based on schedule. You can increase or decrease as needed. You can pause your local service ads if you're going to be out of the office for a while during holidays, all of those types of things. And you can scale based on ROI. So it's a really great program to utilize. So as far as getting set up is pretty easy. Obviously, the simplest way to get set up is you could work with us and we could support you in that. But the easiest thing to do on your own is sign up for local services. And you can go to adwords.google.com/local services sign up. And what this will do is go ahead and input your industry. As I said, financial planning is already available nationwide. Insurance agencies are available in California and Florida currently, and Google will notify you as they roll it out to your area if you are not in one of those two states. So it will get you on their notification list. Once you've done that, it's going to take you to, when you first sign up or come in, it will bring you to this screen. Just continue, fill out the information. If it's not available in your area currently, it'll put you on the notification list. And if it is available, just fill in your information and they will take you through all of the background screening process. Now, once you've been approved, here's what you need to start focusing on to make this really work. You want to start paying particular attention to your Google business profile, because your Google business profile is going to be the primary driver for your Google local service ads. And so ranking on your Google business profile and ranking with your Google local service ads is going to be based on a couple of factors. Number one, it's going to be based on your proximity to your potential customers' locations. It's going to be based on your review score and the number of reviews you receive. It will be based on your responsiveness to customer inquiries and requests. So a couple of things we want to talk about. Physical location is going to be important because it's going to impact your visibility and search results. You may want to consider additional locations if that makes sense. And then you also want to consider review volume and quality. So anybody that's leaving a review for you, ask them to leave a paragraph about the services they've received from you. Ask them to mention what type of service you provided for them, and realize that verified reviews within local service ads carry extra weight. And then your responsiveness to inquiries and requests also carry a lot of weight. Also think about your business hours. One of the things that we're finding with Google, this is a little secret nugget for you. You may want to adjust your business hours. Even though your office may be open till 5 p.m., if you have after hours, call center, or you have after hours form requests that people can submit, if you will change your available hours to 24 hours, you will actually rank better in the local search rankings. And so that is something you want to consider. You also want to promptly answer every lead and update their status within the LSA dashboard, because high responsiveness will ensure that Google continues to favor your business in the rankings. One of the mistakes we've seen businesses make with LSAs is being very slow to respond. And when they're slow to respond, Google is very slow to send them new leads. So be sure and make sure in your hours, extend hours to capture leads during off-peak times, evenings, weekends. Ensure that you've got a way to answer calls during those times, whether that's live or by some type of answering system service. And then the big thing is make sure that your business practices are good. If you're getting repeated complaints, negative feedback, that's going to hurt you in this LSA program. And you want to make sure you're dealing with those types of things. Now, the other thing to keep in mind with local service ads is Google is going to attempt to spread out the leads that you're receiving over time because they don't want to spend your entire budget early in the budget period. So if your ad is generating leads more quickly than your budget can accommodate, you could see your ranking affected or your ad being paused temporarily to spread that budget out more evenly and to spread out your lead flow more evenly. Now, to win with local service ads, be sure and dial in your service area, your profile, your budget, mark all of your leads as closed, deal with disputes, make sure that you're driving verified reviews, and the target rate that you're looking for in your reporting is 85%. You want to try and hit 85% booked appointments off of the leads they send you. Now, again, I'm having the screenshot from a different industry because the insurance agency lead ads are so new from Google. I don't have any screenshots from it. So you'll just have to bear with me. I can at least show you how they're set up though from a different vertical, and that's what I want to show you. So in your profile, you're going to have a toggle switch like this. It'll show you if your ad is on or off. It'll show you what your ad schedule is. It will show you your company information. It will show you your budget, how much you've spent, what your average weekly budget is, the types of jobs that you're willing to do. And so you want to make sure that your profile is dialed in, that your budget's set. Open up your budget if you need to. Like I said, what we're seeing is you need to be really aggressive with your budget to get maximum lead flow. And even though you may be wanting to spend 2,000 a month, Google's a little slow to spend that. You may want to actually show that you're willing to spend 4,000 or 5,000 a month to actually hit that $2,000 a month target. Update your ad schedule, set up your business biography, select all of your service types, set up your service areas, update your business hours. And this one's critical. Add photos, add lots of photos. Photos are a key driver, and photos with people in them, especially you and your team, are going to be super important because people want to do business with those they know, like, and trust. Then the second thing you want to do is mark everything as booked, mark appointments as booked. So on that potential customer, click the button, give Google the feedback it's looking for so that it can train its algorithm. And remember, it's going to show whether that lead is active, whether it's archived, whether it's new, whether it was by phone, whether it was by message, what category it came from. If it's a phone call, there's going to be a recording of that phone call. You'll be able to rate the lead. So mark these things as booked. We booked an appointment. We closed business. Google will rate your responsiveness by how well you service the customer. Remember, Google wants to give the customer a good experience. So mark these things as scheduled and closed, add customer details, include an email address, archive non-converted opportunities. It'll help train the algorithm. Make sure to deal with disputes. So if there is a dispute, you're going to want to rate the lead. So they took away the dispute button actually in December. So now it says rate the lead. So you'll rate the lead. You'll rate it was bad for this reason, and Google will take note of that. You won't be charged for disqualified leads. Big reasons for disqualification: it's outside of your area or they're asking for a service you don't provide. So that's a great thing. Google will credit you for bad leads. Be sure and drive verified reviews. If you do business with somebody, ask for the review. And you'll see this ask for review button here. As soon as you close business with somebody, click ask for review and drive those reviews. And so verified reviews is a major driver of your ranking in the local service rating system. And so you want to automate this review process. Always just go down the list, click ask for review, provide great service as you always do, and leverage the dashboard to drive those verified reviews by entering the name and email and then the request a review button. Click it. Just make that your standard workflow. And when you do that, what it's going to do is it's going to show Google Reviewer, Google Verified job, and it'll show what type of service it was. So again, we don't have examples because insurance agencies are too new, but it's going to show what it was: auto insurance, home insurance, business insurance, what the rating was, and then what they said about you. So we want to take full advantage of this system. And then, of course, we want to target an 85% appointment rate. So if they send you 16 leads and you book 9, it's going to be a 56.3% booking rate. The closer we can get it to 85%, the more Google's going to love that. The more you are able to book appointments with these leads, the more Google is going to want to send you leads because you're doing a good job of handling the leads that they are sending you. And so to increase lead flow from these local service ads, regularly adjust your budgets to avoid missed opportunities when demand spikes. You want to close the loop on every lead by marking them as either booked, archived, or disputed, and then monitor your booking rate. Aim for at least 50% as a minimum, but ideally your target is 85%. And then request verified reviews on every completed appointment that you make. And then if you need help, you can post "Let's Talk" in the comments, but let's open it up to questions and answers if you have any Q&A. All right, I don't see any questions coming in. So if we can help you build your marketing program for your agency, feel free to schedule a strategy session with us, agentbrandingandmarketing.com/schedule. You can also call us at 888-572-8758. And would encourage you to go to the website. We've got all of our podcast episodes there for the digital insurance agent. You can also access all of our video content on our YouTube channel and a lot of blog content there for you as well. We're going to keep watching the rollout of this insurance agency category on the local service ads, and we'll post updates on our blog as we see more of this coming into fruition. We recently introduced a service here at the beginning of the year called hyperlocal marketing that is built around just the Google business profile and local service ads as those come online. And so if you'd like to know more about that, be sure and schedule a strategy session with us. And I want to thank you for taking time out with me today. It's been great joining you. Next month, we'll be covering Facebook ads in our webinar, and I hope to see you then. Have a great day.